One of the goats of Japanese legendary tuning, probably ahead of its time, unfortunately. This is the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR-4 in America, and in Japan, its original name was the Mitsubishi GTO. Now, when you look at this car, a lot of people think a lot of things. They think Mitsubishi problems, all that kind of stuff, but let's run down real fast. This had a V6 twin turbo in the 90s that was, let me tell you this, it was beating supercars. It was beating supercars. It had iron block with aluminum head with oil squirters. Yes, it wasn't the easiest motor to get along with. It was sort of high maintenance. I consider this a supercar. Maybe it's in the same realm as Porsche 911, like it's in that realm, but like, look at the looks and the wideness. I just look at this as like a Porsche 911 to like a supercar. It came with all-wheel drive with 55% of the power going to the rear, so it was rear biased. It had so much technology. I mean, Mitsubishi, this is probably one of the reasons you're not doing as hot right now. Unfortunately, we couldn't see what the economy was going to do in the early 2000s, especially in America, but Mitsubishi poured so much money into this. This had active aero. There was a version where at a certain speed, once you get past a certain speed, a lip would drop down so it can help with aerodynamics and downforce. You also had electronic control suspension with the dial in the car that you can adjust it. You had an active rear wing as well. Come on, this is supercar stuff. And you also had an active exhaust in the 90s where you could open a butterfly throttle in your exhaust to make it louder or to make it lower. This car had so much technology. The only problem is that Mitsubishi fell off. The support is falling off. Unfortunately, look, I got a Mitsubishi. I know what it is. Like, unfortunately, I hate it. I hate saying this. And then you had people that didn't take care of them. And then the people that did take care of them, a lot of them got out the game, or they're not selling their cars right now because they understand what this really is. Guys, I'm not saying you should do this, but here's the thing. To save these cars, do you know that you can still find front-wheel drive 3000 GTs for super cheap? At least in Ohio you can, and I think in the Midwest and maybe the East Coast and the South. And this is a supercar, or close to being a supercar. If you could swap another motor into it, you know, I would say like maybe, I don't know, a Mitsubishi V8, the Raider V8 from the pickup truck. I want that V6 sound too, so you can keep the twin turbo V6. You know, you gotta be ready for maintenance. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You have to be ready to understand these cars, especially some Mitsubishis. You have to understand, does it have a timing belt or a timing chain? Does it do this? Does it do that? Like, you have to really do your research. But if you do, you have what I think is going to be a classic in the future. And there's so many around that people could pick up, and they're just gonna wait too long until they see that there's literally a supercar sitting right down the street from you for $4,000 or $5,000.